welcome to another episode of OuttBoundz. I'm Jay.
And I'm Trey. This episode is a banging episode, but firstly, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, and also subscribe to the podcast playlist. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Locksmith, great to have you on. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I've firstly just got to ask, just straight out the block, where's Locksmith come from? Is in the name.
This is a question. This is a question that gets asked all the time, and I always try and hide it from my mum.
What do people call you for short? Locky?
Everyone calls me Locky.
Locky?
Short. Yeah.
Okay.
So your name's spelled R-O-L-L-E, right? Why not Rolly?
Because
Rolly, you got one on your hand, innit?
This is my first ever one. I didn't even buy it. The manager bought it for me. Locksmith came from, I think it was my second school that I went to in secondary school, and I was always an opportunist. And I walked past, it was the caretaker's room, and I popped my head in, then popped my left and my right leg in. And I saw this like signs basically saying master keys, spare master keys for the entire school. So I've taken that. I didn't do anything with them for like a week or so, and then I started testing them out on like rooms, and we were the only school in London at the time to have lockers, like, you know, American high schools that have lockers in it. I had a key to every locker. Like, there was one key, just every locker.
You're nicking 20p's.
I didn't do none of that per se, but because I was in year 8, so I must have been like 12 or 13, all the older kids were like, you know what, you're gonna do some bits for us because we don't want to get in trouble, and we'll call you, send you a text. I started renting out rooms to all the older kids and whatnot. Started getting stationery and selling stationery. There was a tuck shop, like storage room.
Young entrepreneur.
Oh mate, it was
Back in the
ridiculous.
day.
Exactly. And I was walking down the corridor and I was with my mate of mine, and like someone was shouting what felt like a mile away, and it was like, Locksmith, Locksmith. I was like, who's he calling? He said, my boy said to me, like, you're a locksmith now, bro. And ever since then, since I was 12 years old, it just stuck. And then, it stuck. And then I literally tried to match it up to DJing. Like, I used to lock my mixes. Mm-hmm. I was half decent. I say half decent. I was better than half decent on vinyl decks where I could mix from an early age, walk out the room, and it would still be tight. And that's where a lot of my friends outside of school thought the name came from. But the name, that's how the name came.
That's a good story though, still.
It is a good story. I love that nickname story.
But from a young age, when you just come up with it.
It was mad because when we got signed, the label said you got to change your name.
For real?
Get off.
No. Yeah, no, that's you, man. You
exactly. Stubborn.
So listen, obviously, I was told that you used to play for Arsenal.
At Youth Academy, yeah.
So would you have known me then? Because I would have been 18 and you're what?
I'm 36 now. How old are you now?
Yeah, so I'm 41 now.
No. So I was in Bradley Johnson's. Bradley Johnson, Kazim Richardson.
No. Do you remember Neil Bamford and people like that, coaches?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Do you remember Ozzy?
No.
It was Ozzy, like, oh, mate, this coach was the worst coach in the world. In terms of, not technically. Technically, he was a good coach. But to me and my temper issues and whatnot, he just put it on me. And he was at Arsenal the same time that I was at Arsenal, and then obviously didn't make it through, didn't even get released, didn't get a chance to get a YTS, so I must have been about 15. And I was like, right, I've got to find a new club. Went to Tottenham. They got rid of him at Arsenal.
Tottenham, yeah? Is that you're going on? Arsenal to Tottenham?
I know. There was an opportunity there, I was told. So I went over there, and the same coach actually jumped ship the exact same time as me to Tottenham as well. And then I went Charlton, and then I just like kind of dipped out of it and just played semi-pro football for like until about post lockdown. To be fair, my last club was Braintree.
Oh, really? That recent?
Yeah, mate. I literally used to change around my flights from no man's land to get back to training, and all the boys were like, "Why are you in fucking shitty Braintree with us training in the rain?" I miss being around the boys and being around the changing room vibes.
We need to get you in some of them charity games then.
Oh mate, I'll be up for it. Yeah, definitely. So who was in your?
So me, Jermaine Pennant, Jerome Thomas, Stephen Sidwell.
Yeah. So that was like, that's us looking up to you guys.
That's what I mean. That's
Jermaine Pennant especially because not yourself, because I remember the price tag that he had.
Because he was
highest paid
he was I think at one point he was the youngest teenager.
Yeah.
Youngest teenager to get bought for like, I think it was 2
2
million.
mil. Yeah, I remember it.
So
clearly.
he was like, and then he came with like a stigma attached to him. But you know, like when he's a northern kid, right?
Yeah.
And even though like he come from a rough area in Nottingham, you know, when you come to London, it's different.
Yeah, it's different
You know
levels.
what I mean, in London it's different then.
levels
So
to it,
like,
man.
yeah. But no, he was a great kid growing up. We had a great youth team, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, no.
I was saying before, like, I don't remember losing games at all.
Right.
Like, I just don't remember. But I was going to say to you, you know, with a lot of the mental health issues going on now in today's society, what was it like for you getting released by Arsenal and by other clubs?
Oh, mate, it was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me. You know, a lot of the kids that get released probably think that's the end of the world or whatnot, and it felt like that at the time. The only reason why I can say it's the best thing for me is because
where you are now,
of where I am now. You know, I've got 2 beautiful children. My missus still stuck around with me. I don't know why she's still with me, but she stuck around, and things like that make me think, you know what, I'm truly blessed. But at the time, it was a very difficult place to be in. You know,
I've been like, obviously I've been around loads of people that got released, and like sometimes. Like for me, for example, it made me stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had my first rejection when I was for England level, and I didn't get taken on to a place called Lilleshall. Is like we used to dorm there and live there, and that kind of made me stronger. But then I met other people that they just kind of just fell down that. It's like it's like they fell off a cliff almost.
I looked at I couldn't probably bring up some figures because I'm a simple musician, but the statistics for the kids that drop out at their mother club and don't go into football again. It's just,
I heard about this as well. It's ridiculous.
It's something high, like in the 90%.
Really?
And it's a sad thing for that to happen. And not only, all right, you drop out of a sport where you've got a 0.01% chance of making it at that top elite level, but the mental impact that it has on some of these people, or some of these kids growing up, where they feel like they can't go out and do anything else.
Yeah.
But that was like
how old was you at the time?
I was like 15.
Okay, so
Yeah.
But that was
so
like me,
young.
because when I got bought by Coventry, I don't know, I think it was about £1 million or something like that. I remember going there, and I remember thinking, man, this training ground is shit.
Yeah.
Like the changing rooms, the training kit, like the gym. Like I was like, what have I come to?
You felt like you got
because I've come
spoiled.
from Arsenal,
You felt
where
like
I
you
was
got spoiled.
spoiled. Like the training ground was state of the art, like swimming pool in there.
Hayland, yeah.
Yeah, and now we were at London Colney at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and it was like underheated pitches, like training
got
pitches,
everything.
everything. And then I went to Coventry, and even though it was a good team,
side of it. I'm just thinking, wait a minute. We went to Hayland. I went there the other day to see the youth team play. I was like, mate, there was like one pitch when we were here. There weren't there's loads of pitches. Yeah. Same grass as bloody Emirates. Yeah, but anyway, sorry. Yeah.
No, but it was.
Yeah, I hate you.
No, I went Hayland at the beginning of the year and I got removed.
What was you doing?
Because you know you got to fill in loads of paperwork now if you want to go and see like youngsters play. And I just went in, But then obviously because I played for Arsenal and I played professional football, people recognised me and they was like, Jay, sorry man. But can you leave? I was like, and it was a security guard, and I felt like, boy.
But it has changed because of all the scouting system. And they don't want
exactly.
They don't want it to feel like kids.
There's a lot of pressure on the
exactly. That as well.
Where did your career take you then after football then to get into the music industry? Like I want to know a little bit more about your journey into becoming like part of Rudimental. And
so Rudimental is a bit of a bromance story. There's 3 of us in the band and we've grown up with each other since we were like 5 years old. We went to the same infants together, lived on the same street, and football and music ran parallel to each other. And I was like one of these cocky kids with a bit of a temper, but I always knew that I was going to make it in something, whatever it is I was doing. I felt like I had to have that attitude, especially growing up where I grew up. Hackney is not what it is now. It's more of a gentrified place, and that's where we were from. But
trendy now.
Oh, trendy.
Trendy. Trendy now. Do you know what's funny though? Because I'm the same as you. Like I grew up in a rough area in North London.
Yeah.
And it was something similar. I had anger problems. But I felt that I had to have an anger to look after myself.
To look after yourself and to, simply walk the streets of where we come from. But yeah, there were so many influences in terms of music where I grew up, like on my street there was an Irish family
Yeah.
playing Irish folk music, and then there'll be a Jamaican family playing reggae, and then there'll be us in what we used to call the basement in my bedroom, where we'd have a pair of decks and we'd have all the road guys, road man down. Yeah, like, you know, we'd have 30 guys in a small room just sweating out, MCing and us DJing and producing from probably about 11 years old.
Did you come through the garage scene then?
No, you see, the whole garage scene was probably the time where we enjoyed listening to music and being punters, if you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So...
Because that's where I come was like 1998, 99,
that's gonna be
2000.
That's going to be like my older sister, my older brothers kind of thing. So that's their time. But I loved it.
Yeah.
One of my favourite like genres of music, and house was one of my favourite.
House, yeah.
And then you had the sort of like, well, before that you had jungle.
Jungle.
Oh yeah, that was a madness.
Jungle was a madness, boy. That got you high. I used to come out of the club, I was sweating. I was sweating, boy. I was like soaking wet.
I used to see my sister sneak out the window. She must have been 16 at the time, to go to telepathy, I think it was.
Telepathy,
you know what I mean? Go there and she'll come back the next day, same clothes, just drink. I'm like, why are you still drinking? It's been a day. But those kind of events and that kind of culture is what we grew up around. Yeah. Hence why when you listen to Rudimental, you hear so many different sounds and so many different genres, because that's what we grew up on. So you've got like the house and garage element in there. You've got the D&B side of it and the jungle element in there. And then you've got the live instrumentation, because we grew up learning how to play instruments. Not myself, because the boys did, but I didn't. But yeah.
Would you take samples from like old music then to make your own music?
We never really did. No? We never really did. Like, it's funny you say that, because we went to LA the other day and we took an old school sample and we put it in a track and we were like, right, this is the first time we've actually done this. But usually it's the sound of our music has that kind of soulful live element to it that probably makes you think, right, I feel like I've heard this before, but it isn't. But yeah, like I said, we grew up in that scene, and we didn't get a break until we was about 23. I remember when my son was just born, I quit my job. I was working as a mentor, learning mentor in a secondary school, and I was like, I need to go back to uni as well as playing football in order to get a better job and get a better salary. So and I just remember being like, shit, I've got like 100 quid in my bank. And missus is like, just
that's some pressure, innit?
Oh mate, she's the one that's supporting us at the time. Yeah. And I'm thinking, fuck, how am I actually gonna get from day to day? The music's not going off. I'm getting paid like, I don't know, the 50s to 100 quid a week playing semi-professional football in arse and nowhere. And I was just like, this can't give. And I remember us all sitting in a pub one day. We're having a drink. It was in North London, just around the back of the old Arsenal shop. And we're drinking it, and we hear this guy singing behind us. I was like, because we're so in tune with each other when it comes to stuff that, you know, we've grown up listening to, and like, when we was drinking, like, we must have had a pint just like mid-lip, like this. No one said nothing to each other. And then as soon as he stopped, we put the drink down and said, you know that tune that we made 2 years ago? Yeah, he's got to go. And we're like shouting over each other. So there's a tune that we made 2 years before we met this guy. And it was called Feel the Love. And it's us singing on it. We don't sing on our own track, so it sounded like shit. Yeah. So it's literally us just singing along to it.
So you'd never release it then?
We was like, we're never going to release this. It was like, it's a banger.
But what about the beat then?
The beat was sick.
Did you ever release the beat?
Oh, I don't know. It was one of those where we had so many of those tracks in the hard drive. And I remember I remember this tune particularly because, not only because it went on to bloody do what it did, but at the time, we was in this rundown studio in Tottenham, and we absolutely trashed it because we were like, this is the song that's gonna make us. I remember we was in our boxers and all sorts. We put the video up on YouTube, and it was like, but we had so many of those moments. But this particular time when we heard this guy, we had to go over to him and we said to him like, look mate, we got a track that you would sound sick on. Do you want to come? And he was like, yeah, I'm up for it. Some northern geezer. He was John Newman at the time. So then we put him on a track and it just went round record labels like wildfire. And I tell you what, before that track went around, I couldn't get a coffee. I couldn't get a seat at no table at the record labels. And that went on to be signed. And I kid you not, I was struggling financially. And don't get me wrong, I was struggling after that because whoever says once you get like a number one hit, you see your music instantly. You see your money instantly are lying to you, because I didn't see that money until like 2 years.
Why is that?
It's just the way it trickles down through
In the music industry.
In the music industry, yeah. So you kind of rely on advances and stuff like that.
Did you have, so when you did eventually get that money, did you have anyone that advised you about your money, or did you just like go bang, I'm going to go and spend it, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that?
You know what, it was one of those, because I feel like we came into it at the right time. We was like, when the money did come and we started seeing it, we was like, you know, we've got to do sensible things with it. I wanted the base for my family. That was the biggest thing. So once I got that, I was like, all right, I can dabble into other things and whatnot. And we kind of got ourselves secure. And we had good people around us. Like our manager went to...
That's important.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Our manager went to the same school as us, you know, and he's still our manager today. So he had... he knew what he was doing, and he helped get us to where we are today, and we helped him get to where he is today.
That's I have to say, man, that's like rare, you know, that
you're
rare. Friends with people that you got three, you know, best friends that you grew up, two friends you grew up with, your manager that you grew up with. Like for me, when I went to school, I've got one friend that I went to school with that I can say is my friend today still.
No, totally.
Because you just kind of
like
go
messed about with managers and stuff.
Managers like in football.
He's
agents.
not including you in that group, by the way. So,
He's got a good management. He's got a good management. I've got to look out for him as well.
No, it's just like any entertainment industry, old class football, sports in that bracket as well. It can be hard.
Have you ever been messed about with management? Oh well. Before that, like record labels and things like that?
Not really, to be honest.
You've been given false promises, though. Everyone does.
Everyone does. And I feel like, you know, there's some deals that we made that I probably wouldn't have signed into if I didn't have to. I'd probably been a little bit more patient at certain points. But that's life, and that's part of growing up. I came out the other side half decently okay, so I've got to give thanks to that.
Yeah.
So, would you, if you could go back, would you, this is a difficult question for you, would you prefer to be a Premier League football or be a part of Rudimental?
It's so funny because you asked that question. We have this discussion on the bus all the time because we're all footballers.
Yeah.
We all see ourselves as footballers, whether we are or not. But I went to train with Bristol City. This must be coming up to like 5 years ago. So I trained with them, and the boys were like top boys, and I was like, man, I was in the change room afterwards. I was like, I could just do this every day, man. I miss this. You know, like when they're coming in the change room as well, and you got the bants or whatever, and you're like, I really just want to be here, man. And then the boys were like, what? Mate, where are you next week? I said, I'm in IB for next week. He's like, what? I'll give anything to be in IB for. You know what I mean? Like, my knees are going to pack up in a bit. Like, I wouldn't mind being in IB for doing what you're doing. So, I truly believe it's all relative. You know, there's footballers out there that are like probably fed up with their day-to-day jobs or what they're doing, but they love certain elements of it, whether that be being on the pitch playing, but then the behind-the-scenes stuff, they're fucking fed up with.
Do you know what the thing I would say though about football is like when we all think about footballers, right? You think of the top players in the Premier League earning hundreds of thousands a week.
This is it.
But then there's people in League One and League Two that while they're playing, they're thinking about what they can do after football to make money as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same with golf. You watch the Full Swing. I don't know if you watch the Netflix series.
Even watching
and
that.
And like episode 1, it's like private jets.
Yeah.
And it's like you're seeing like the flash side of things, but it's not truly like that. Yeah. Like if you look at like some players that I've got friends that are trying to make it and playing mini tours and going event to event hotels like on barely any money and scraping by. It's tough.
It's an expensive sport to get into. You know, like football, you could pick up a football off the street, like you play in your local park, play for your district, and you might get seen, you know. But with golf, mate, there's some investment that's needed. That's
what we're going to do. We're talking that later. But
before that, actually, okay, Premier League footballer, Rudimental, or professional golfer. Because I know you're loving your golf at the minute,
mate. You got a contract for a golfer there, but I think I'll be choosing that. If I knew that this game would have me like this. I think it would be golf.
Got you in a headlock.
Oh,
you know, it's funny you say that, you know, because first of all, I'm going to say with music, you have longevity, right? Totally. Even when you start making millions, or I don't know if you've already have, but like once you get to that level, you can just say, you know what, I'm going to put out another album or something next year.
Mm.
Like, you can always just put out music that you know is going to make you money because you have a following. I think even with golf, like I heard someone speak the other day, and I never really thought of it like this. In terms of, I think it could be the best sport ever, you know, because when you really think about it, there's no contact in the sport, right? You're walking down through a course for 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, or whatever it is. You're traveling around the world. You're making money. Like, this is the top, obviously, I'm talking about now. It's a great sport, and you've got longevity. You can earn money in your 60s and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas football, injuries.
Mate, it's
you know,
a short life.
You've got to make your money in like 10, 15 years on average.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
if you're lucky.
Yeah, so like if you said to me now, even me,
you're going golf. I know you.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know that I've got longevity. Like, especially with my mindset and my work ethic, as in I will go and practice all day. I was doing it in football. I got in the snow, the rain.
I don't care what it is, I'm there.
That's what I mean. That's why, like now when I look at the game, it's a great game. Because for me, life's all about experiences, traveling, and you know, doing what you're gonna be the best at, being the best possible you can be, right? Course.
So, but it's like I said, man, there's just too many layers. The question is fun to ask. Like, if you're in a position to kind of say, oh, well, I'm a musician who's won Brit Awards, Platinum. If I could get on the same level as that, but there's some people that are watching now and thinking, mate, it's costing me 80 grand a year to try and compete to get to that professional level. It's not as easy as that. So there's all layers to it.
Yeah. But I'm saying, so, like you are.
If we're saying PGA, PGA,
majors,
Premier League,
where
I am now in music, I'm going PGA. Live, baby. Oh no, that's a whole other subject, isn't it? Don't say that. The dirty word.
You know what? Live is even better, boy. That's what I was gonna say. One thing I'll say about golf, though, I think don't correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's one of the only sports where you don't get a salary.
Yeah.
You have to play well or win to get paid.
Yeah, well, you have to make the cut, don't you?
Football.
Weekly.
Look at Phil Jones, for example, Man United.
Bless him.
He's been under contract and probably the better part of like 80, 100 grand a week. Yeah, and he's started contract now, but he's been there 10 years or something.
Mad.
So, and he ain't played many games, but he still earned some big money.
Yeah, definitely.
Why do you love golf so much then?
You know what?
To say that, PGA Tour, I'm taking that. Why do you must love it? You must love golf.
It's so weird in respect of when I was growing up. If you asked Locky, young black boy in East London, one day you're going to be addicted to golf, I would have looked at you and said, "Oh, mate, behave. Like, have a day off."
That's what I said. In London as well. Like, I said to Trey, like, for him, he's up from up north here. There's golf courses everywhere. For us, like being in London, I see a driving range, and I just fell upon it through my mate John Halls, who used to play with me for Arsenal. But it was at King's Cross, and it was some shabby driving range. You just see the big net in the distance. I was like, "What's this?" Yeah. But apart from that, until Tiger Woods came out, I didn't know about golf.
Yeah, this is it. But I don't know what it is. I love the fact that you get to be outside. I love being outdoors, and then it's when you do that one thing correctly. You kind of think to yourself, you know, I'll crack this game.
I can do this. I can do this.
It happened to me last week.
I come off with 87. But yeah, I haven't been playing long. I've been playing 2.5 years, and like you mentioned, you'll train at it, you'll work on it, practice it. I've got OCD, so once I've got something fixated in my head, I can't get it out. So I need to.
I've got OCD in there because I got to do thinking about it.
Oh, mate.
When I know I'm playing a golf course in the morning, a good one.
Yeah.
Like the other day I played Sunningdale. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, I love Sunningdale.
I was in my bed thinking I need to have a good round time. Like I couldn't sleep, man. But it's so addictive, golf.
What do you play off then?
So I've got down to 10.5.
And how long you been playing?
2.5 years.
That's good though. That's really good.
That is really good.
I want them single digits, but
I
don't know if it's going to happen this year.
But how much do you actually? Like, how much do you practice?
A lot.
Do you?
A lot.
A week. How many days do you reckon?
So I'll play 3 days a week, and then like say I'll go on the chipping grip, and I'll be out there for like another hour. So I'll probably be playing golf 5 days a week now.
Well, you don't listen. You don't live far from me, so we're gonna have to get on this then.
You two are gonna have a good challenge.
Obviously, this is all about making golf for everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
making it
of course.
viable for everyone, but making it enjoyable, right? Because when I look at golf, even now, I look at golf as a competition, and I think a lot of people do as well. Whereas you look at other sports, it's an event.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think? How do you think golf can improve to make it more exciting? Because for me, like, I love watching golf as well.
Yeah.
But after about 10 minutes of watching it, I'm falling asleep on my sofa because I got some boring person talking about the techniques and this, that. I just don't understand. Like, when you hear him talk about the techniques of golf, that's a talent in itself that he can see. You know, like for me, I look at a swing and I just see that, you know? Like, whereas he can like break it down in sequences.
Yeah.
And to an amateur, I just want to hear the good bits, the good shots, the exciting parts, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it's a difficult one, you know? And I got into golf through the BMW PGA at Wentworth. So we had to play a gig there. Yeah. And I think it was the first time that they had a gig at the BMW PGA. And they asked me to do some trick shots with a guy called Jeff, I believe, and Beefy, Andrew Beef Johnson.
Yeah. He was my neighbour.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Beefy, I love it.
Yeah, he's a good lad, man. And he put a golf club in my hand and he said, like, mate, look, you're never going to let these down. Lo and behold, I put him in the garage for 2 years and then I picked him up after. But at the same time, when we was doing the trick shots and we was doing all the different activities and I was learning how to do certain things, my Instagram at the time, or social media at the time, blew up with a lot of black kids in there saying, what, you play golf? What, you play golf? What's golf all about? What's that all about? And I think that's the way we kind of try and make it relatable. You've got to see people that maybe look like you and not necessarily would be associated with the sport, you know, and they come in and the kids will be like, "Wow, he actually does that." So it's almost like if Stormzy entered the golfing world with the following that he's got and the youth that he's got around him, there'll be a lot of eyes on golf, making it a little bit more interesting for the black kids in South London.
Because that kid was probably you. When you think back to what you said earlier, which was like, I'd never envisioned myself playing golf. Like, you at the time, if you had someone that you looked up to playing golf, that's the same situation.
How can it only be Tiger Woods we look up to, kind of thing? It's a global sport, yeah. It shouldn't just be one guy like who's throwing it on us. Like, granted, he's abnormal, he's out of this world. But there's so much more that we can do in the sport, I believe. And I say we like I'm flying the flag for it. You
played in that BMW program, mate. I'm trying to get in that.
Oh, mate.
I'm trying to get in that
myself. It's the most nerve-wracking thing you could ever do.
I've got to ask you, what was more nervous, BMW PGA first tee or Glastonbury?
I know the answer to that already.
Oh, BMW
Go.
PGA. Mate, I never felt my chest pump out. My heart was coming through my chest. I was like, can everyone hear my heart? I went to the missus. I said to her, you know what? If I just fell on the floor on the first tee, would it just be over? Would that be just
go away?
That's how nervous I was. My palms were sweaty.
It's all the time. I can't believe how nervous she got on the first tee.
And what's that? A year ago. So I like to think I'm a better player now than I was. It was like 50-50 whether I was making contact with the ball back then. Do you know what I mean? And everything that I was taught went out the window. Yeah. I didn't have an idea of what I was doing.
Make contact.
I was like, make contact.
But I bet you have the same feeling though if you're playing it again this year. I want to say
that I'm not. I'm going to be okay. I played in the pro-am last week in Jersey. It was the Legends Tour.
Okay.
And I was a lot more calm about it. Granted, there wasn't as many people. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But there was a few people watching. And I like to think I held my own. It was a bloody windy day.
I still get nervous. If there was like 10 of us like on the first tee, I still get nervous about that. I can't handle the first tee.
The first tee.
I can't handle that. I can't handle that first shot. And then once I move on, I'm good.
You're good. I get it totally. Like the whole it's a nerves versus anxiety thing, and I've kind of managed in my head to get rid of the anxiety thing and just stick with the nerves because I can't be having both going on because I'm finished.
It's like you want like only good things to happen. You like fearing the worst.
Yeah, exactly, and you just can't.
But in this show, it's all about entertainment. We need to see who can handle the pressure, and we've got a challenge leaderboard We've got a nearest a pin challenge in the show that all the guests.
Oh, here we go.
Don't worry. Look, who do you think's down there?
You know.
Who's that? You or him?
What?
Don't ask.
I'm there. I'm second at the moment. I'm second.
Just
but don't worry. But all you got to do, yeah, is hit the green. Because you even hit the green.
Don't ask.
What kind of distance are we looking at?
100.
We've got 109. You ready?
109
You up for it?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
It's not my clubs. It's not my clubs. Disclaimer.
Take your balls.
How many attempts did we get?
We got 3.
All right, sweet. All right.
Let's do it.
Little practice one, yeah?
Yeah. Tell you what, you need to hold this as one of your goes. Go.
Already you've done better than Trey, so don't worry about it. Listen, don't worry about it now, Locky.
Shut up, man.
All right, is this the one?
Do you want it to be the one, or do you want another practice?
I have one.
Because you want it's a distance in it, so have another practice.
Another practice.
That might
Tell
be
you what,
cookie.
you got some club head speed, Locky.
Might be too much.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's long. That was little pull.
See, the pitching wedge is too long.
Yeah, you're definitely. We're probably.
That carried 122.
You're definitely in between clubs here. You need it in between club.
Have you got the little soft grip down pitching wedge in you?
There we go.
Come on then.
All right, let's go. All right, let's do it.
Okay, shot 1.
Pulled that a bit. Shot 1. So I've got 3 attempts at this, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, be prepared to be amazed.
Oh, it's a good strike. Started straight, cutting onto the pin.
Oh,
That's unlucky.
A
That's
little
unlucky.
long. Oh. Carried 10 yards too far.
Is there like a little wind assist on it, yeah?
I think the wind's into your face on this
I
one.
forgot to tell you, it is 10 yards downhill, so Sam wedge should
Sweet.
be good.
All right, cool. Here we go.
That sounded nice, you know.
It's pretty straight.
That sounded
just
nice.
cutting
That
onto
sounded
the green.
nice.
Oh, come on.
In off the bunker.
That's right.
Oh, that's Ray's bunker, that one.
Oh.
And do you know what as well? Because he didn't tell you that the distances, we give you
One more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more, yeah?
It's insane.
Mate.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That started straighter. I reckon that's going to get there.
That's on.
That's much better distance. Oh, he's got the spin.
I think no.
It's way too
It's
well. Hitting the ball way too well. What's going on here?
A 29.9 foot, that one.
It's on. It's on.
29 foot,
One
9
more
inches.
time.
Yeah, one more.
Come on,
One
this is
more.
the one. I'm
This is
feeling
the
it.
one. I believe in you,
That little
Locky.
draw.
I think you can get there. I think you can get there, bro. I think you can get closer.
Don't try to be cheeky. Oh, I might pull that a bit.
Is it fading? Started down the left.
Oh.
Turning in. Oh. You got long.
That was long.
You're
Yeah,
long with
that
that
was long.
club. 29 foot,
But you're
9
right though.
inches.
29 foot. It's better than someone.
Don't give me that. The little name and then the distance, 29 foot 9 inches on that one. We'll make some space. Oh, we're underneath.
What was it?
29
20,
foot 9
20
inches.
something, was it?
Yeah, but you're on the green, you beat me. 29 foot 9.
Okay, so you just sit there.
What was it like, just going back to the topic where we were earlier about like starting golf? Did you ever, because you've had a couple of things at golf clubs, haven't you? Like going there thinking like hat back or like socks and stuff like that. Have you ever had anything like that?
What's that?
At
Like
golf
what?
clubs, like weird altercations with like members and staff at golf clubs.
I'll say it how it is, yeah. For me, I walk into a nice prestige golf club and people are looking at me like, can you afford this? Or how do you get in there? What are you doing there? Kind of thing. Have you ever had them kind of bad?
You know what? To be fair, me and Tony Belly, because we play golf with each other all the time.
Tony good.
Yeah, he's getting there.
I
I think on paper, yeah, but this guy can hit some bombs, literally.
Yeah, I
and
bet.
he will be like a really good player, and he's getting better. But more than anything, you're just out there with your mate. Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. But we've walked into some places, and we have like received those looks, and you feel it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I just want to be accepted for playing golf, and it's a bit unfair that you feel that way. You know, I think At most, fortunately enough for me, it's just, can you take your hat off in the clubhouse?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, fair enough, because I've been in some football teams and you have to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But the look and the feel is still there.
Actually, like you said there, I remember, I told you, innit, I went to Wentworth and this guy was like, oi, take your hat off. Like, same as you, I was like, who's this guy talking to, bro? Like, but then I just realised, I was like, actually, you know what, I want to play today.
And then, like, another topic, I think, like, Brit Awards, Mobo Awards, like, how did that feel, like, being recognised as, like, winning awards, like, selling all these records and things like that? Like, how did that, like, make you feel? Did it give you, like, inspiration to keep doing more?
Yeah, no, 100%.
In music?
Yeah. I don't care what anyone says, in whatever field they're in, whether they're working in an office or whatnot, you want to be acknowledged for doing what you do well. And those awards do that for you. Getting a Brit Award was a massive achievement. Getting a Mobo Award was another massive achievement, especially when I took my mum to the award ceremony. Yeah. And she was there. Oh, mate, she was in tears and whatnot. And it was just like, finally, you know, because there's a lot of people that, or a lot of musicians that kind of stumble in however they got through, and it happens instantly for them. We've been grafting. You know, we was in the game for nearly 20 years, and it's only in the last 10 years that we've been working in this level or this space. So to get those accolades are amazing, and to have it not only in the UK but around the world, and that's what a lot of people forget about Rudimental, because we don't show our faces. Yeah. We're not in our music videos. We don't turn up to the clubs and we're like, look at us and whatnot. People don't really like, once you kind of come out of the eye of the UK, they're like, all right, they're not doing nothing in the UK. But mate, I just look at my wall and I'm just like, all right, there's Australia platinum, there's America platinum.
What country gives you the most love?
I would say you probably got Australia, and then you've got parts of Europe as well. Yeah. There's bits in Asia and America. Yeah.
So what's the best country you performed in then?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that. There's been so... I can't answer that question because it's all around moments. What happened around that moment? Because a stage is stage, a crowd's a crowd, and some crowds are different in terms of culture, where they're coming from. Like a Scottish crowd is crazy, an Australian crowd is crazy, but it's the moments. Like what happened when we were walking through the airport? What happened on the golf course before we went on stage? Like these little things, and once they all come together, you're like, man, what a day that was, rather than what a stage or what a performance that was. And it's mad because I got a feeling you're going to be the same here, is you will have the best show, but you still remember the worst ones. So I could tell you about the worst shows in detail, but I couldn't really tell you about the good ones.
Because it just goes by like that.
Yeah, but the worst ones, they just stick in your head.
You remember the crap games you've played? Mate, they stick out in my mind. I'm thinking, how did I play that bad?
Mate, sometimes I'm like, the crowd really cheered for us afterwards. Like, that was terrible. Like,
has anyone ever booed you off stage?
No. But I'll probably do something stupid like try and crowd surf whilst they're booing me because I'm dumb. My head would probably just go. But no, we haven't, fortunately enough. But we've had bad shows, but by our standard. And when you watch it back, you're like, the crowd, they ain't even fucking seen it. They didn't even know that wasn't working or that was the wrong.
Because they're in the moment, innit? They're in it. But you don't. I always say you don't know a moment is memorable until you look back at it.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Exactly. And I think that's why a lot of people got their phones out, innit? But I don't think they're living in the moment.
It's different, isn't it?
It's different. Man.
Now when I've seen I haven't been to a concert for ages, to be honest. But when I did, I remember like you see the whole stadium and they just got their phones up. You just see lights in the stadium. Yeah. Like for me, when I was like younger, I was jumping around, I was dancing, I was properly involved, engrossed in that moment. Now it's just like it's all about the socials.
I remember watching Adele, and Adele said, "Put your phones away." Like she's playing, I think it was at O2. And she literally just stopped everything and said, "Everyone, put your phones away. Let's just live in this moment for what it is." And I was like, "Yeah, damn right." I was like to myself, Would I be able to get away with that on stage? I don't know if I'm at Adele's level.
Tell them put their phones away.
But, yeah,
Who do you listen to now, music-wise? Like, is there anyone who's on the playlist like on a daily?
My playlist is pretty eclectic and
Yourself.
old school. Myself, I can't do that. I listen to a lot of old school music. So you got like Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is probably one of my favourite albums. I love listening to the songs on that. And
what album was Ready or Not? And like
that would be the Fugees, yeah.
What was that? When was that? That was like night.
Mate, I bought that on tape.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't even allowed to buy it on tape. Imagine that. And I bought that on tape, and I remember the tape got stuck. For kids out there that don't know what tapes is, yeah, Google
I know what tapes is. Don't worry about that. Do you know what the thing was? It's funny because I remember when I was coming up, and I used to, you had your Walkman or whatever,
exactly, yeah.
and I used to go to school, and I remember I was listening to the Ice Cube back in the day, and it was like lethal injection, and I remember I had the tape. And then I remember one time I lent the tape to my friend, and he came back and his stereo chewed it.
Yeah, so he's got to sellotape it and that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, man. You can't watch this now. You can't listen to it now.
Yeah, totally, man. Nah, so it's a lot of old school. Like, I love 80s music, so there'll be like the Gap Band on Earth, Wind and Fire, that kind of stuff.
But you don't know about that, man. You must speak to me.
I'm a nod like I know.
Oh man,
that one up, don't you?
But yeah, but on a note, like Dave, I love listening to Dave.
Yeah.
Like, all that
I played football with him the other day, in a charity game. He's decent.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a good footballer. He scored a
Dave,
couple
I played
of
with
goals.
him at
I think he
Soccer
got
Aid.
man of the match.
Played with him at Soccer Aid, yeah, man. He's a good lad, man.
He is.
Soccer Aid was yesterday, wasn't
I
it?
think it was.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
What position did you play?
Centre midfield.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was you the enforcer or was you a baller?
Both.
Oh yeah?
I like to have both.
What, Essie,
both.
yeah?
Mate,
You got to keep you up.
mate, there's video footage outside of my prime of me playing, so everyone can make their own judgment.
He's a Chelsea. Who do you support?
I'm Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Chelsea now.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
What was your thoughts about Arsenal this year, though?
You know what? I did a TalkSport interview at the beginning of the year when we started to go on a bit of a run. And I put a question out there to everyone. I said, would you take this run that we're going on, competing and maybe falling off massively, or take top 4? What would you want? And everyone's like, yeah, we take the run because this is the team we are, this is the club we are. Mate, us Arsenal fans can be the worst. Like any other fans, you know what I mean? But for me, we've overachieved this year. We have. It's a fact. And I'm glad that we was up there competing, especially the way that we did it, away from sort of like third and fourth and whatnot.
Yeah.
Would have loved to win it, and we could have. My thing is now, it's next year. Because we've got that...
We're on the same level. We're on the same... God. I want to hear what you could say, because what you're saying now is exactly what I said. At the beginning of the season, I said I just want Champions League football and a cup.
Exactly. But we're going to start shouting and screaming like, yeah, we're competitors now. All right, we competed this year, but you're saying now that we're going to have to, not you, but people out there are going to be saying, well, we've got to compete next year. We're ahead of schedule. Yeah. So that means we've got to buy players ahead of our schedule and ahead of the price that we can pay for them. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a difficult one next season, an interesting one to see how we approach that with more games, with not the same squad, but with a skeleton of a squad that we had this year that we're probably going to have next year. I want Declan Rice because I think that'll be a big push in there, but then you think about all the other players, all the other positions that we've got to fill as well. And
I said, to be honest, like I said, I mean, obviously I work on Sky Sports as well,
right,
and I'm talking about Arsenal a lot, especially in Sky Sports. They've got, like, there's a lot of, like, Man United, Tottenham fans in there, and I'm like, obviously I'm sticking up for Arsenal, and I'm like pushing Arsenal, and when I went back in there after they lost the league, they was like, what you got to say now, Jay?
What do you
I'm
mean?
like, can't really say that, but for me, Arsenal, I think it's going to be tough for Arsenal next year, tougher than what people think, regardless of... I mean, I think Declan Rice is going to come. I think he's a top midfielder. Yeah. But to be honest, I think the position that Arsenal are in to spend, I don't know, but if it's like over 100 million on Declan Rice, it's a lot of money. Like, who else can you really bring in afterwards?
You can't bring anyone else, so it's going to be the same sort of skeleton squad that you're going to have.
But now, you're not playing against like Club Brugge, no disrespect, Club Brugge in the Europa League on a Thursday night where you can rotate your squad and play like young players, youth team. Now you're playing, like they're in pot 2, I think it is. You could be like Bayern Munich, Milan, Arsenal, and
and they win the Premier League.
Porto or someone like that.
There's going to be some of them players. There's going to be some of them players there that haven't experienced that as well.
Man United are going to strengthen. Liverpool strengthen. They Sam McAllister, didn't they? Like for me, Chelsea are like.
Oh, there you go. I was about to say that. As much as it pains me to say, Chelsea are going to be the ones to look out for. If they can get, if Poch can come in and change the mentality of the players in that club, get them playing, get them working, offload a lot because they've got too much. That training ground must be a joke. But they're going to be.
I was speaking to Joe Cole the other day, and I was saying that like realistically, they've got about like 35 players.
What's that
You're
like?
only like 22.
What's it like if there's too many in like a club changing room? Is it just like competitive, or is it like do you lose that because there's
you lose it because do you know why? Like you're only allowed to name 22 players in a Premier League squad. So straight away you've lost like 10 players. All they're doing is training. They're not motivated. Like because what are you going to be motivated for? Like playing in the under 23s or whatever it is. So straight away, like he has to like bring that squad down, know who he wants, know who he's going to get rid of. Because a manager, for example, like if he's going to leave you out, generally he'll come to you on like a Thursday or something like that and say, listen, I'm not going to start you. Right? He's got, imagine that. So you've got to have about 10 of those meetings on a Thursday, right? And then obviously the players that are playing are always going to be happy. The players that are not playing, you've got to keep happy.
So just on that note there, with just Chelsea, like you're going to have a squad where there's going to be pockets of, or groups who are for and against, moaners, they're going to stick together. The ones that are happy are going to stick together.
Groups
so you've got a divided dressing room, changing room already. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing because I believe the top teams are the ones that are ready to go on the pitch and play next to them. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got that in the changing room already, you're struggling.
But that's what as well. Like going back to golf, like. See how we're talking about football now? It's entertaining, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That's why, as much as like there's been big problems with the PGA and Live and everything, I think Live's been great for the game.
100%.
Because it's made it exciting. Like there's talk about golf now. Like people that don't necessarily watch golf, they say, so what's happening in that golf or what's going on with Live and blah blah blah.
For that reason, and look, I get the whole heritage side of it because we look at like the Premier League, and that's a sport that I believe I can talk about with a bit of experience because I've been watching it for years. And then you look at this Super League that came in. It's a very similar aspect to that. The Premier League doesn't need to be talked about like, say, golf does or PGA does.
It's already there.
It's already there. But that similar thing has happened. So I could understand from sort of like the PGA, the wholehearted, like tattooed on the sleeve, PGA lovers being like, this is an absolute joke. So I get that side of it. But I feel like it needs it.
It does need it. Like, I tell you what, what made me laugh is, and I got excited when you see like the Live guys going to a tournament on that private jet, and now everyone was like gambling and drinking and all that. And I thought, you don't expect that from golfers because you just think golf is like, I don't want to say a dry sport, but very prim and proper.
Yeah, of course.
And then when you see
it's a middle class sport. That's how it is.
No, 100%.
It just needs that like entertainment value, like NBA, like the Premier League, like that hole in the 16th in the waste management.
Scottsdale.
That one is just like you could be there all day, couldn't you?
Yeah,
and it's not like to say them holes need to be everywhere, but it's like if somebody that's never watched golf before could go and experience that, they'd be more hooked than if they probably went to the Open.
Yeah, like even when we went to Riviera in February, we went to watch, and it was the first tournament that Tiger played in, so we was gassed anyway. But then, was it the 17th hole they came up? Was it 18th?
Yeah, we watched on the green,
Yeah, we was there on the 17th.
They went mad, didn't they?
Mad, like, and we was engrossed in that atmosphere, and it's almost like, that should happen more around the golf course.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But one thing I will say to golf is that if you actually go there and you watch it, it's actually more exciting than watching it from like,
just seeing the ball and
strike. I took my mate there who knows nothing about golf, and when he heard the sound of like Rory here and the electricity running through the air, it's mind blowing. And he was like, "What? Is this how?" And like you've got people like my friend who go to Top Golf or whatever, and they can't hit a ball. So when they see it being hit like that. It's
consistently,
just like,
mad, isn't it?
Mate, it's not fair.
We was lucky, because we went to. Yeah, did you come that day when I went?
Monday.
Yeah. we went to the Riviera on the Monday when they was having their practice runs and stuff, and I was like standing like this far from like Rory, and I'm looking at him, and he's like after shot, and then he's walking back to his caddy, and he's like, now I'm gonna hit a low cut, I'm gonna hit a high cut, I'm gonna hit a low draw, high draw, and I'm like thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, just shank one, just so I know you can do the same.
Me,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can do like me,
mate. I walked with Rory for the PGA, and sorry for the BMW, and I was like, I don't even know anything about this sport at this particular time. I'm in my jeans, t-shirt. Rory's looking at me. I'm looking at Rory. I'm not meant to be here. I know you're meant to be here.
I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, bro, this was me.
I said, next time I do it, I have to come up in the full gear and whatnot. I can't be on the golf course like this.
Hold on, bro, I've got it here. Look, watch, hold on.
Rory must have been like, what are you doing here, bruv?
He was like that. That's what I was like. I turned up and I was just like I was in ripped jeans, everything.
Hey,
I was
just
where is it?
I'm out with you, Rory.
Where is it? Hold on, this is gonna be jokes. Look at me there. Ripped jeans.
He was like, what am I?
Oh mate, but it was funny because like you get to see those players and you just see how good they actually are. Like as much as I'm in football, right? But you know, I've played against some of the best players in the world, some best players ever, and there's obviously elements of their game where I'm looking at them and I'm saying, I can do that. So it's not that impressive.
Yeah, of course.
But when for example, Messi, you see him dribble around 5-6 players and then bang. Obviously you can say, yeah. But then the majority of football players, even Premier League players, top ones, you can say, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
But then when I'm watching golfers like that, like I actually had Rory and then there was other golfers, I won't name them, next to him. And you could see the difference in class. It was like that.
No, it's mad because I played with a +1 golfer the other day, and he was just saying, mate, there's just levels upon levels upon levels. Every time you think, all right, I'll go in there, I'll play like the DP or whatever, and then you get out of the DP and then you go to PGA and like
more levels.
You're talking about like a person who finishes 60th, and you're looking at him, you're thinking, wow, that's a level. So imagine what's
even like within events, there's levels, like the guys who kind of scrape by, just get in, like guys who just miss, and then people who are like top 10 in it each week.
But even when I play with you, I said that to you, innit? Like, for me, like I always like to play with people that are like my level or better than me.
Yeah, 100%.
Just so I can see. So when I see him on the driving on the course and like his swing looks so effort, but then he carries it 310, and I'm like, I need to do that, man. I'm like,
how can I not do that?
How can I not? Yeah.
It means nothing. It's just that's what I love about it as well, because I remember when I first started, and I was in a sort of like bad place mentally. Didn't want to do music no more. Just didn't know where I was going, what direction I was going. And I'll go out on the driving range and I just try and smash the life out of everything, and you wouldn't win. Like your ball would just trickle along the floor, maybe 70 yards, and then once you start relaxing, free your mind.
Get the strike.
You get your strike, you get your rhythm.
What's the best courses you've played, top 3?
Oh, you know what? Oh.
Good question.
Great question.
UK or overseas?
Anywhere, like top 3, man.
You must have played some big ones.
Alright, so I put in third place. I went to Turkey and I played in, I can't remember the course's name. It was a floodlit.
Is it Gloria?
Yes.
Gloria.
Where the hotels are around it as well. Yeah. So played there. That was amazing. I think it was the whole experience.
Night golf. I've never played night golf.
And it was night golf as well.
Yeah.
And the course was just beautiful. And then I'm going to say Kings Barnes.
Okay.
I haven't played that either. That's enough.
Ray, you need to get us on there.
Ray,
mate.
Ray, you're slacking, bro. You're slacking.
that course there is just unreal to just look at the views, and the fact that they close it during winter. So then we were like the first on it when we played the other day. Fresh. And not because I think it's the best course, but there is something about Sunningdale, man. There's something about that place. It's just, and then you get to the halfway house and then you just look back.
You know what? I'm not being honest with you. Like, I don't want to offend Sunningdale because I want to go back and play. but for me, like, I have to be honest, because I've built it up so much in my head. And I've heard what other people have said about it, and I've played some other courses like Wentworth, Beaverbrooks,
That's
St George's Hill, like things like that.
There's a couple places.
And like you
Sorry,
drive
I
in,
need to get to.
yeah, you drive in and it's grand. Like you drive through the gates and it's a drive like all the way up to it, and you're like, this is going to be a good day today, kind of thing. When I went to Sunningdale, it's like you drive through the gates and then the clubhouse is there. And
you
it's
like them hotel courses, you do.
I get that. I get that totally. Especially with Wentworth, when you go there, you see the multi-million-pound houses on there.
That's what I mean. It's very old and traditional.
Yeah, it is traditional.
Like that, and that's the thing. No one said that to me. They just said Sunningdale's amazing. It's the best and blah blah blah. But for my, like I tell you, the Wisley as well. The Wisley's lovely. The Wisley's lovely. But
I want to get on Queenswood as well.
That's Queenswood. Yeah, I was meant to be going to play there last month, but it kind of fell through. But I'm going to be playing it soon for sure. I'll tell you where it's nice to go and play golf. You've been in Kinnet del Lago?
No.
Mate, you need to go there because there's like, honestly,
we'll do a match there.
Yeah, we'll do a match there.
Let's do it.
Like, because there's like, within about a 10-minute drive, there's probably about 6-7 golf courses, really good golf courses as well.
Perfect.
And it's like, I went on holiday there and I said to you, it's so good.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
Yeah. So good.
Mate, the way golf has taken over my life, like the way I cancel things, reschedule things, everyone thinks I'm taking a piss. Locky's not turning up, where is he? He's at golf. It's done this to my life.
I said this to you the other day. Like,
literally.
Like even since the football season's finished, I look at my diary, it's golf every day pretty much. Unless I've got a meeting, like an important one as well. Not like, if you say to me, I'm playing Queenwood, I'm cancelling everything.
Oh mate, it's just a
joke.
joke.
I'm going to get some picked up from school, everything.
It's a joke, mate. Seriously, it's a joke. And then like, the missus is a golf widow and she's come to terms with that, so...
Golf's a big part of like you and what you're doing now. Like, what's next? Do you think? Obviously, you got you're well into your fitness. You got an app, I believe, that's out. With,
so I've got the clothing brand TCML Fitness. I know you guys are tight with Addict, so if Addict want to do anything, watch out for me. But these are more passion projects. These ain't like projects that I rely on. These are things that I love doing. And being within golf now, there's something I wanted to do. And funny enough, I wanted to do at Hanbury Manor is I want to do an event where it's going to have like its pro-am throughout the day. You guys will all be invited and people can come see some pros and celebrities, footballers and whatnot play. And then in the evening there'll be a festival vibe going on. And
what?
Music, like a music festival. So yeah, so
that could be good. That could be good.
I've agreed the space at Hanbury, so I'm hopefully what are we in 2023. If we can make something happen 2025, that
will there be room there?
What's that?
Will there be room there?
Yeah, there'll be room.
I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely.
He loves his rum, this guy. He loves his rum.
You say rum or room?
Is there going to be food
mate,
there?
Of course, we'll probably have a rum sponsor. Don't worry.
Is there going to be some Caribbean?
Mate, we're going to make it. This is what I'm saying. Is things like this I feel that will get people engaged in the sport more. You know, people like myself doing things, events like this, and clubs like Hanbury Manor having an open mind and wanting these things to happen on their course is what's needed more.
This is what we were saying. They're trying to do this at my club as well, Hadley Wood.
Yeah.
Because Hadley Wood traditionally it's like it's in an affluent area, but it's like kind of stuffy sometimes, and they've got them old members. But now they're trying to like kind of evolve and invite golf to the next generation, making golf for everyone.
Well, you got to think like the whole membership era of golf will always be there, but the younger generation are going to be like, you know what, I can go play on that course for 40 quid, or I can go play on that course for 100 quid or whatever. And they might just keep skipping or hopping clubs and not really do the whole membership thing. So there's an element there where you can say, actually, if they've got this going on there annually, that's a big buy-in for myself, you know?
You know what the funny thing is, like at my club now, they're doing, I think it's 100 or 200 quid membership for a year for juniors. So that's what I'm saying. That's really good. So obviously,
like clubs to step up and do them.
Yeah, because it's important.
Push on
that's what I'm saying. And you don't have to pay like 200 quid up front. You can pay over the course of a year. It's 200, and you've got membership. So
look at that.
You know, I think clubs need to be more forward thinking as well and change. So it's great that Hanbury Manor is going to agree something like that. I need to play Hanbury Manor actually. I haven't even played it before, and it's like around the corner. We can have the home leg and the away leg at
Let's do it.
And Hanbury, yeah.
I'm down. Let me sort out my driver. My driver's gone.
Just to wrap this up, Locky, you've got a question at the end of the show that I get a junior to send in, so junior golfer,
right, sweet.
And this junior golfer wants to know, how do you prepare for a large event, or how do you compose yourself at a large event? So that could be like experience at BMW, or that could be a festival, or a big large event.
That's a great question, to be fair.
No, definitely. You know what? Let's give the political answer. Yeah, there's a lot of preparation that goes into the Rudimental show because it's such a big show, the live show especially. So we could be in a rehearsal camp for 2 months, say. It's so repetitive. You're going over tunes, you're going over patches in terms of what sound should be playing when, sonics, this, that, and the other. So that's like the kind of long answer. Before a show, we turn up and we have the most fun. You know, because we've not got that sort of pressure of having to be physically fit.
Yeah.
You know, whereas we can have a drink before the show, wind down, listen to some music, have a little rave in our dressing room.
Active though, like physical. Because I see like Stormzy sweat.
Oh no, for me, like I remember putting a heart rate monitor on before, and I burnt nearly 600 calories in one show. So it can be physically demanding, definitely. But at the same time, for us, it's almost about just winding down and just relaxing because you don't want to go on there all stiff and whatnot.
I mean, maybe I need that on the first tee then.
Just before.
Exactly, just before I'm teeing down.
Sometimes it just lets you just be free, and that's how we like to prepare, you know. And it's all about having the way we like to explain. We're a bunch of boys who are on a school trip without no teachers, and we make up the rules. And that's the funnest way we go about our business. Just trying to just have as much fun as possible because there's so much shit in the music industry. Like I mentioned before, in the entertainment industry, there's so much things going on, dark shit that people want to try and manipulate you, want to make you think one way, and the pressures of it and whatnot. And you kind of lose fun for it. So when you get into these situations, when you're about to step on stage at Glastonbury, wind down, have some fun, embrace the moment, you know?
Have we got backstage passes for Glastonbury?
You know what's funny?
Just yes or no?
So, no. So because there's so many of us in the band, we probably get 2 tickets each, just for Glastonbury.
Really?
Glastonbury are the tightest ones of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect
Like,
that.
it's just so tight. So I gave one to Ant Middleton, who I did SAS with. So he's come in. And I gave one to Tony Belly as well. And I don't think he can make it, but because his name's on the ticket and everything, I can't give it away to anyone.
It's all good. We'll let him off, shall we? I don't want to beef him.
But what I can do, we're playing at the Crystal Palace Bowl, and it's our own show. It's 10,000 people going to be there, and that's on the 5th of August. So if you boys want to come down,
That'd be great, man. Yeah,
come down.
definitely do that.
100%. I've got to sort out that list, by the way.
Are we going to play golf this week then?
Yeah. I'm going to look at the diary.
Check the diary. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Wicked. Been great having you on, Locky.
Oh, cheers.
Pleasure.
Man.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's been great meeting you, honestly.
Pleasure, man. Respect.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. Wicked.